Thanks, you guys. Thank you for being here. At this time, and this is always one of my favorite luncheons and presentations because just the information presented is so informative and helpful, and it really sheds light on all the great things happening here in the city. So it is my honor to introduce Mayor Andy Arnold.
Thank you, Lacey. It's good to be back to almost full, as we were talking, whatever that is. It's great to start One Walker again. I think these are very good meetings. We have a great team in LaFayette, but that team includes the Walker County government. It includes all of our business partners in LaFayette, the other cities in Walker County. We work well with all of the other cities in Walker County. That hadn't always been the case. As a matter of fact, I think I can be honest in saying that it's only been the case in the last few years that we have really worked well together, all pulling in the same direction along with our county. The county commissioners work well with us. Robert is great. It is an incredible team, but the most important people on this team are the citizens of LaFayette and Walker County. They're the most important. They are why we do what we do. So it is great to be here. Here are the patron sponsors for the Walker County Chamber, Roper Corporation, CHI Memorial, who just announced last week that they are going to be building a new hospital up on 2A. That's very, very exciting for those of us down in this neck of the woods, so we don't have to drive to Chattanooga. Any time that I can miss the I-75-24 split, I'm for it. And I think that's going to be great. Electric Power Board, the Bank of LaFayette, Walker County Schools, Coca-Cola Bottling of Chattanooga, Pigeon Mountain Trading Company, Flegel Insurance, Georgia Power, H&R Sanitation, Peach State Credit Union, North Georgia EMC, First Volunteer Bank, and a new one, Bancorp South. So those are the patron sponsors for the Walker County Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce does a great job. Here we are, the Queen City of the Highlands and home of the Honeybee Festival, which will occur next year. We're gonna have it, I think June 4th, we'll see that, but it will occur next year. I'm really excited about everything that we've got going on in LaFayette. What have we been working on? Strategic plan. That's going to be the first slide that you see. I'm not going to go over that, but I know that you will run home or run to your business, click on the City of LaFayette website and read all 10 of those. I would wait until tonight for those of you that have insomnia to look at them. But here they are. But we're going to cover a lot of these as we go through the presentation. So, community and economic development strategic plan. We'll look at that. City of LaFayette Junior Council. One of the things that we implemented 3 years ago, Councilman Davis has kind of been the head of this and has done an outstanding job with this, was the City of LaFayette Junior Council. Now you would think me coming from a teaching background that I would know exactly what all of those kids at Lafayette High School thought of the City of Lafayette and wanted from the City of Lafayette. Wrong. These young people have really led us down a path that none of us, my age or even a little younger, had thought about. They have been very interactive. As a matter of fact, my wife's from Calhoun, and I know almost all of the council people on the city of Calhoun, and this was what they wanted to talk to me about when I saw some of them about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. I mean, they had heard what we had done with the junior council, and this is what they wanted to talk about, what was going on with the junior council. This is what they've done. We took programs. Event development. We had an event a month ago on the square with some local talent singing that was outstanding. And it was the junior council that kind of led getting that together. 3 months ago, we had a movie right there where I used to practice soccer at the old high school that was very, very well attended and went very well. And July the 31st, we've got our next event, which is going to be a movie, but we're going to have it on the square. We're going to close the square down, and we're going to have the movie on the square. City planning, they've been involved in helping us with city planning, looking at our policy, reviewing the policy, peer engagement. There were a lot of high school students at that movie night. A lot of high school students at that movie night. Kind of reminds me of what, Field of Dreams? Build it, and they will come. They came. They've given us great feedback on a lot of other stuff. We've updated the recreation center because of what they told us needed to be done. We had an Earth Day cleanup, a Love LaFayette. We called it Love LaFayette. A lot of our civic organizations and churches got involved in this, and those civic organizations and churches stay involved with us in the city of LaFayette, and we couldn't do it without them. They were very involved in that. Drive-up movie night, we'll have the second one. We had the hometown concert. Helped with the downtown master plan focus group. They were in one of the focus groups that we'll look at on the downtown development plan, and they are already. They didn't want to leave. Those that had graduated didn't want to leave, so they're already looking at an alumni program for that. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Principal Maggie Stoltz, L. Maggie, and Sarah, and all of y'all. Thanks for the help. Our relationship with LaFayette High School is incredible right now. And it ain't always been that way. No, it hasn't always been that way. But it is incredible what we are doing in partnership with all of our local schools, but especially with LaFayette High School. We are now working on a housing initiative that I'm going to let Chris Davis go over with you because he and Elizabeth have been very instrumental in this. Councilman Davis, let's give him a big hand.
Thank you. Our GIG program, we got several of our GIG members that are here. If you're on the GIG team, raise your hand. One there, one there. Yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this. This is a 3-year neighborhood housing revitalization program. It is in partnership with Rossville. We got this. Yeah, thank you, Teddy Harris. Thank you for Rossville being a part of this program together. We have 24 volunteers that meet on a regular basis, working on plans and attending retreats. We're about to kick off our housing surveys, which will be have teams going around doing face-to-face housing surveys this is with the University of Georgia, so they'll be bringing all of our data that we gather and putting it into a report and bring it back to us for us to use for revitalization grants and things like that for our communities. So again, you can see the identifying areas in the city that provide opportunities for neighborhood revitalization and housing updates and help us recruit new developers and building up our neighborhoods. So it's a great program. I mean, it takes a lot to get chosen for this program. Thank you to Elizabeth, my co-team leader, for helping get us through and get us picked to be on this program. We're in our sophomore year. Our freshman year was kind of crazy with COVID, but we've got a lot of good things happening with that sophomore year. Looking at going to another retreat in the fall, and then hopefully you'll start seeing some results from this program. So thank you to the team members, and thank you guys. I hope you'll see more about the housing.
There you go. That's the other one. Yeah. Awesome. We met last night at Second Baptist Church. We had a meeting last night, a community meeting at Second Baptist Church, kind of kicking off the surveys that are going to be occurring in the West Lafayette area. So it was a good meeting. It was a good meeting. And we decided we're going to meet about every other month there. Like our next meeting is at the end of August. New housing growth. It's crazy. Housing is absolutely crazy. Those of you that are in real estate know that, but it is absolutely bonkers. One of my favorite pastimes has become looking at Zillow to see the craziness that's going on out there. Those of us that just had cabins now own mansions in a lot of places. It's gone absolutely crazy. Lafayette hasn't been left out of the new housing growth. There's a lot of houses that are being redone, renewed. However, there's new development. On the south end of town, there's a 67 new single-family home development. It's going to range from 180,000 to 200,000, maybe. We'll see how high this goes. On the north end, a new development there just north of Walmart that will include 115 houses in, I think, 3 different phases that will range between $200,000 and $250,000. There are people coming to our city, our county, our state, and the state of Tennessee and the state of Alabama in droves from other states. I saw an article this morning. It was actually a U-Haul article, and that Tennessee is actually the #1 state in one-way U-Hauls right now, coming into Tennessee. And that's mainly Central Tennessee and East Tennessee. Same thing's happening around here. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm old. New opportunities. We're taking meetings with new developers almost weekly. People get in touch with us almost weekly on what they can do to develop. Again, it's not like anything I've ever seen. Mixed use, residential, senior housing, and new single-family housing. It's great. It's a great time. Lafayette Downtown Development Authority updates. Our Lafayette Downtown Development Authority is starting to do what a development authority is supposed to do. There, for the longest, we hosted events. That's fine. Hosting events is fine. But a development authority is there to develop the area in which they are focused on. And the Lafayette Downtown Development Authority is starting to do that. With this University of Georgia downtown study, they're developed an annual plan. There's a facade grant program just launched. 50% matching up to $2,000. My fault, $2,000. I'm glad I caught myself. The application to that, for any of you that would like to look at that, is on the city website. Main Street Partnership. We're going to reclassify our Main Street. We're looking for a Main Street developer. I talked to the city manager one day last week, and I think he said he had 51,
60 maybe.
60 now, applications for that Main Street director. They will coordinate the Main Street project and downtown redevelopment projects along with the Downtown Development Authority, and they work, and the DDA works with the public-private partnership to redevelop key sites. The whole on the square. We're fixing to do something about that. Now, we're not going to do it tomorrow, but we're looking forward to redeveloping that area. Here's some examples of what the combined study with us and the University of Georgia has come up with. Here's an example of the facade grant, a business before and the rendering of that business afterwards. That's a huge difference in what your city, what our city can look like. And let's be honest, that's the first thing that you notice anytime you go any place is the aesthetics of a place. That's number one. Other examples, these are businesses that are currently in LaFayette and what it could look like with the facade grant and a little bit of other work that we're looking to do with this results of this UGA study. That looks good. Go back to that. And look, they even remastered before we had 27 paved. Look at that. Isn't it nice to have 27 paved? Senator Mullis, and when you see him out, you give him a big handshake for that. Because I know it seems like it took us forever to get everything moved and for that to be paved. But Senator Mullis eased us up in front of a lot of other communities to get paved there. So that's good. There it is right there. That's awesome. Again, more examples of current versus proposed. One of the things you're noticing from all of this are the trees that really make everything connect. It makes everything inviting. We have, again, been working with the University of Georgia with the Renaissance Strategic Vision Plan, RSVP. Now, that doesn't mean that you've had to be invited to come to this thing. Anybody can do that. That's just the initials that are used. Renaissance, rebirth. Rebirth. This is a rebirth of the city of LaFayette. And to be quite honest with you, it's going to be a partnership with businesses and our county government and the Walker County Department of Education to get everything looking the way it can look to make people come to the city of LaFayette. Or if you're here, stay in the city of LaFayette. One of the things I'm finding more and more, I don't want to go to Atlanta. I don't want to even go to Chattanooga often. I'll go if I have to. I got to go get an MRI Thursday. But I would much rather stay home in Lafayette, visit the businesses in Lafayette, but just enjoy the simplicity and the lack of rushing that occurs in our town. That's just inviting. It's going to allow us all to live longer. I don't feel like a mouse or a rat. As part of this renaissance, 1,200 surveys were answered. We're told by the University of Georgia, for a town our size, it's pretty amazing. It may even be the most they've ever had per capita. There's been great participation, that's what I'm saying. 18 focus groups. The council was the first focus group, one of the first focus groups. I think we were the first focus group. And they did this individually with each focus group over a span of a couple or 3 weeks. Asking questions. What do we need to do? 200 citizens. First fully grant-funded RSVP. No dollars are being spent from the budget of the city of Lafayette to do this. It is a grant. No local taxpayer dollars were used. And these are the top issues that y'all said we need to address. Connectivity. Man, I want us to be able to walk. I want us to have trees everywhere. I want us to have sidewalks everywhere. I want us to be able to walk. That's huge. That is absolutely huge to be able to do that. Streetscape improvements. Improve Bellingham Street, Patton Street, the Main Street corridors, a Town Creek Greenway Trail, which is going to occur. And we've talked about it forever. We even named it. It's been 7 years, I think, since we named it. The look, beautification, planting trees, gateway and arrival improvements. What do you see when you first come into the city? Listen, those old green signs that we've got that you can't even read anymore, they're coming down. They're ugly. That's not what I want people to see when they first come into LaFayette. Facade improvements, the 50-50 matching, grow a variety of dining and entertainment. Guys, we need to stay open more. We need to be able to sit outside and eat a meal on the square. That's a perfect place. That's a perfect place. If you're on the east side of the square, you look up and you see Pigeon Mountain and Lookout Mountain. If you're on the west side of the square, you look across and you see Taylor's Ridge. It is absolutely phenomenal every time I leave my house, turn right on 136, and head into the city of LaFayette. It is gorgeous looking at Pigeon Mountain and Lookout Mountain through the gap. That's absolutely, we are in such a beautiful place. East side of the square, short-term programming and beautification, create a downtown location for temporary events and activities. That's where we're talking about the whole. Long-term design solutions, downtown infill development, corner park planning. It's good. I've seen some of the rendering. It's gonna be fabulous. Policy recommendations from all of these surveys, from the focus groups, removing obstacles to realize community vision. Sometimes those obstacles don't seem bad, but you got to get rid of them. We're actually doing some of that. We're actually doing some of that. You as citizens are doing some of that. Code enforcement. We have really been doing code enforcement and putting it high on our priority list for a while now. Sometimes it moves slowly, but it's there. Allow outdoor dining, screening outdoor storage where there is storage in town. Be ensured that there's some kind of screen up so that it's not seen. All right, here's the favorite part. These are the renderings. Top part existing, bottom part is proposed. So here you are looking on the courthouse steps, Patton Street, on the left, looking toward the Bank of LaFayette, the way it is currently, and just a little bit of modifications. What it can look like. Here we are. Here's Brookwood Square. So this is on down West Patton Street. The way it is now, and just look. Added a bike lane, trees. This is a heck of a lot more inviting than that. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to be cooler with this. Here's existing. This is South Main Street. This is the bridge. Right over there behind that tractor is the T-box. Existing, Here we are in front of City Hall. Look at that, we added something. That looks great. A little bit of parking on the right-hand side of the road. It just looks more inviting. These all came from the discussions that we had and what the University of Georgia then took and ran with from those surveys for what it could look like. Here's Robert's building. The old hotel. Look at that. That's awesome. Look at this little platform right here for the train to stop. We talked about a depot. I never even imagined this. That's awesome. You don't think that it would be nice to sit out on this in the evening? You got the sun behind you, so you're in shade, looking back at Taylor's Ridge with your choice of food and beverage. That's going to be great. Now we got to get there. Not only is it going to be great, we're going to make it so you can walk there. And here is just a little bit of what we have proposed, or what I affectionately call the hub, on the east side of the square. That's pretty cool. And I know that y'all will be fighting to be one of the first people right here to get their picture made with those wings. Bee wings or butterfly wings. I guess it's a bee wing. Pollinator garden. Grass. Man, it's going to be a great destination because there's some other stuff on down that you don't see in this rendering. P-SPLOST, SPLOST, and land acquisition. The city of LaFayette has bought some land recently. That land was purchased with funds from SPLOST. We're doing a lot of road work ourselves from P-SPLOST. Paving, moving utilities, so that we don't have to dig up the road. We've been doing that for a while. Road repair, North Main corridor improvements, you've already seen that. It's just much more pleasant driving down North Main right now. $3.8 million project, 3.4 low interest GFA loan, and $400,000 in P-SPLOST to do all of that. You see the pavement on top, but all of that digging up that we've been doing was abandoning the utilities under North Main and moving them to the left and to the right. So that when something goes wrong, and they're going to be leaks, we don't have to do that when you say it just makes sense to all of us. Again, when I ran for mayor in city council, I didn't make any promises except that where we can, we're going to get utilities out of the road. That was the only promise that I made. And we've done a pretty dang good job of it. But it ain't cheap moving that stuff. $250,000 infrastructure project connecting LaFayette High School to Main Street with a sidewalk down Worthing. And if you drive down Worthing, slow down. It ain't a raceway down through there. There's houses left and right. I think the speed limit's 35. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to go 35. But do it. I've communicated with some of those neighbors. I mean, they would like for us to slow you guys down somehow. I want to do everything I can to avoid speed bumps, and so do they. But it's a high traffic area. When we add the sidewalk, it's even going to be more. It's going to be walkers there. Land acquisition for public-private partnership along a multi-model trail system connecting recreation assets to downtown. We bought property so that we can build a trail system from the Ross Avenue complex, which is where The Freedom Festival is going to be Friday, by the way, starting at 5. To the Recreation Center. To begin with, it can be expanded. Guys, I don't know how many of you remember going to downtown Chattanooga in the 70s and what it has turned into because of this public-private partnership. We're going to make it walkable from the square to the Mars Theater District. And we're going to have a walking trail / riding trail from Ross Avenue to the Recreation Department to begin with. Negotiated 20% off the top with the county for a special pool of economic development capital in the last SPLOST allocation. All the cities got some more money from SPLOST to spend on their cities, on their downtowns. Because the county realized that that's the lifeblood of the county. Purchase a new stage. That stage that we've been using on the Honeybee Festival, we bought. Because we were paying tons of money to rent it, so it's going to pay for itself. Even if we don't rent it out to anybody else in 6 or 7 years, we're going to do the Honeybee Festival. And we're renting it out to people 7 times at $3,000 an event so far coming up. It was just rented a couple of weeks ago. Purchase a new stage using partial Lyndhurst grant, hotel motel tax, and some extra SPLOST money from the last SPLOST that came in. That was, we had already allocated all the other money. We did the projects that we said we would do. We'll be a headliner stage for the Honeybee Festival, saving us $600,000 in rental fees for Honeybee. I think we're going to use it as planned right now, depending on weather, Friday for the Freedom Festival at Ross Avenue, the old high school football. At our last, it's not the last Honeybee ride. Our last Honeybee ride was May the 15th. We'll continue to do this. Had a great turnout for that. At our West LaFayette community meeting at Second Baptist last night. Autumn Rocks, both the 5K and 1 mile run and the golf tournament, which we will continue to have. 9th annual reindeer run, December the 5th, 2020. Concerts, free concerts we had on the Square Freedom Festival coming up. Hometown movie night on the 31st. If it does rain out the fireworks, we're possibly looking for having fireworks at that movie event on the 31st. Not promising it, but that's one of the dates that are thrown out. We just think how much fun this would be. You got the big screen on the south end of the square, and then after the movie, or halfway through the movie, you watch part of the movie, it gets dark, you turn your chairs around, you look back at toward the old high school, and there's fireworks coming up over the downtown buildings. That's going to be pretty cool. Fire department will be there. That can be pretty cool in itself. Annual egg hunt that we have every year. We had our first annual Love Your City. Now it will be an annual. The first Love Your City. We hope to do this every year. Had great church involvement with this, city group involvement with this. Again, we can't do it without y'all. We cannot do it without y'all. LaFayette High School, Rambler Nation, and community. Great partnership with LaFayette High School. Here's a woman club presenting a check to the police department for Shop with a Cop, something that goes unnoticed every year. They do a great job getting 25, 30 kids for Christmas. If you've ever been to that now, if you've ever seen that, you think those kids are going to run straight to the toys. They don't. They don't. Oftentimes they run straight to the clothes to get clothes for them, their siblings, and their family. That's a great event. Fly in September, hometown movie night, Saturday, July the 31st. And if you weren't there, Memorial Day weekend, when we dedicated the flags and crosses, it was amazing. Cold chill, amazing. It's a great location there at the Veterans Park as you go into the Recreation Center. American Legion did a great job of that. You guys did a great job of that. Here's the egg hunt. Here's the Yo honeybee. Here, Footloose was the movie, so that was from the movie. So it's a city, and guys, what you just saw. At the same time all of this stuff's going on, every time you flip a power switch, you have power because of our electricity department. Every time you turn on the faucet, you have water. We get the dirty water out of the way. You have sewage. All of that stuff has to be taken care of. Fire protection, police protection, recreation department, roads, picking up garbage. All of that stuff's going on at the same time that this is going on. It really and truly boggles your mind at what all our guys and gals at the city of LaFayette do, plus put this on. It's absolutely amazing. Now, since I've been on city council and have been mayor, it drives Teresa crazy, but we stop at towns all the way where we're going so I can look at their infrastructure. When I went to New York to visit my son and daughter-in-law, after getting off the plane, actually flying into New York, into the water, my first thought was, how do they get all that crap out of there? Teresa said, what are you talking about? I said, how do they move water into there, dirty water out of there, and get power? One of the nights we were there, they paved the whole road at night, right in front of where we were staying. It's amazing what these guys and gals do. There it is, June 4th. Get your phones out. Go ahead and book it. June the 4th. Stacy, stand up. Give a big hand to our new public safety director, Stacy. Benji took disability retirement. Had several applications that the city manager looked at, and he actually confided in me on some of that stuff. I told him I didn't want to know all of it. Stacy, we are thrilled that you're our new public safety director. It's been a great relationship that you and I personally had, but you and the city has personally had. So we're thrilled to have a local young man that's going to continue with the public safety. So thank you. It was a crazy year, really a crazy year and a half. A huge thank you to all of our City of LaFayette employees and staff for working so hard through a chaotic year. Guys, they really didn't miss a beat. Again, it's a pleasure. There's a lot of stuff that we've got going on. It's a lot of stuff that we're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead. I've never ever done this before. This is the first time that I am going to do this. I would like to still be mayor as this stuff evolves. So, come August, I'm going to qualify for a hopeful third term as mayor because I want to be involved to do what we're gonna do. So, just thought I'd throw that out, the first time I've ever done that. We look forward to continue to work with you guys. Thank y'all.